All right, guys, welcome back. I want to cover the top 10 things that I feel that you should be doing in order to sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time and the least amount of headaches to your seller. Now, this is going to be coming at you from kind of two different perspectives. One, if you're a seller and you're doing the for sale by owner, hey, I got no problems with that. From the other viewpoint of agents, right? If you're an agent right now, how can you incorporate some of these into your own business? So, without further ado, number one, using a real estate broker and asking what are his results or her results. So it sounds pretty obvious, but I think if you're in any industry, you want to make sure that you're working with a professional. Now, again, I have no problems. If you're trying to do a for sale by owner, hey, more power to you. But if you are interviewing agents, what are the results that they have given over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, however long that they've been in the business? But you really want to look at kind of the last 6 to 12 months. How many properties have they sold? What was the average days on market? And what was their plan? Did they have a laid out plan from A to Z? Did they explain the steps from A to Z? So again, pretty obvious, but want to make sure that you're working with a professional in any industry, anything that you're doing. Number two, pricing the home correctly. Now, this does not mean that I'm just going to price the property low so that I can sell it extremely fast. Our goal is to sell it for the most amount of money we can, right? So we want to look at the closed comps, the contingent and the pending recent sales within a 1 mile radius, no further back than 6 months, unless we're getting into rural areas or areas where just not a lot of inventory is turning over. But for the most part in the Chicagoland area and surrounding suburbs, 6 months back, 1 mile radius is plenty. In fact, in some cases, you have to shrink that down. So we're looking at closed contingent pending. We're also looking at what our competition is, right? So we want to take that data, we want to analyze that data and show it to our sellers. Remember, remove the emotion, let the data speak for itself. The last thing that we want to do is we can utilize the MLS to look up how many potential buyers are in an area given the price point that you want to sell your property for. So what we can do is we can take multiple price points and we can see if the amount of buyers changes. So that's very important because I've had some properties that as I increased the value or the suggested list price, it didn't make a difference in how many buyers were there. So I would be more prone to list it at that maybe higher price because it's sending out to the same amount of people. Now, with that being said, I've also had it where just a matter, the difference of $5,000 had a difference in 10% of potential buyers. So very important. Pricing is key. Preparation of the home. We're talking cleaning the property, a deep cleaning. Everybody loves a clean home. Decluttering the property, staging the property. If we've got vacant property, new construction, rehabs, making sure that we're staging the property, or even getting the consultation that we can provide and just rearranging the furniture that you do have to maximize the space. Now remember, working with a staging company, these staging companies buy specific furniture for specific home sizes and styles. Remember, you go down to the city, you got a 25 by 125 lot. The homes they're narrow, but they're deep, so it changes the floor plan and the layout, which means staging companies are actually using different furniture to maximize the space. We've also created a kind of a little check sheet for our sellers that they can run through the home, or we can assist them in going through the property and coming and looking at the top inspection concerns. Now, what we've created is more of a basic cosmetic. We're looking at chipped and peeling paint. We're looking at replacing potential GFCI outlets, or if there are no GFCI outlets. Just doing a walkthrough, and again, it's probably about 30 items that the seller can really walk through, visually inspect, and if we can minimize these or eliminate these for our buyer in the future, the inspection process is going to go much easier, and the buyer is probably less likely to ask for any type of concessions or repairs. Online presence, this is a huge one, especially as we move into the future. I mean, the showing takes place online. We have to remember that. So our pictures, we want to make sure that we're spending the extra money and we're getting the high definition pictures. If not, there's companies out there that are creating what's called a 3D virtual tour. Companies like Matterport, where you can actually walk through the property. The buyer can literally walk through the property from his own home. So that really allows your property to stand out, and it allows the buyer to really see, is this the home for me? Um, what else do we have? You've got agents who are paying to be featured agents on Zillow, on Truly, on Realtor.com. And what that means is that your property is going to pop up before everyone else's. Zillow and Truly and Realtor.com, they're in business because they sell ad space to the agents. So if you pay, it's kind of that whole saying, you got to pay to play. If agents are paying to be featured agents, your property has a higher likelihood of popping up on page 1 through 5 versus page 20 or 50. A buyer may not even ever see your home. We also create personal, professional lifestyle videos where our agents are in the video and we're actually walking through the home. So it's very engaging, and we're getting a ton of traffic on Facebook, which leads me into the last thing is Facebook ads, which is, man, Facebook ads, you will get so much exposure, and you can target, you can get specific age, specific area. So if you've got a home that maybe is a first-time home buyer, target that group, target that age group. Your exposure is just crazy on Facebook, and I think that's said for a lot of social media. Let's see, what else do we have? I mean, the custom property website, signage and postcards, pretty obvious, right? But what I'll say about the signage is that you want to make sure that you can read it. These people that are using these little for sale signs, that are the metal signs that are stuck in the ground, have something that's presentable, something that has an office that's linked to you. If you have an office number on there, that's great, but let's make sure that somebody's answering that office line so that the buyer, can get questions answered. I had a buyer today that literally called me on one of my listings off the property saying, now this house was on a dead end. You would never think that there would be any traffic in this area, but there was. So signage, and then postcards, you can do just listed postcards or even postcards to generate for an open house. Again, your neighbors obviously probably aren't going to be the ones buying the property, but they may know somebody in the family that wants to buy the property. So postcards are huge. I mean, direct mail has been a great source for leads for a long time. Open house, yes, you can do an open house. I would always advise to do an open house the first week that the home's listed on the market. Again, you can utilize those postcards to kind of generate some mystery and then do the open house. Open houses, listen, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I know in areas like California, it's huge, right? Everybody does an open house, and in most cases, that's how a lot of times homes are sold. I feel in the Chicagoland area that it's a great way for agents to generate business by doing open houses. Does it primarily sell the home? I don't personally think so, but hey, I'm not going to say that they don't work, and I would at least advise to do one of them. Worst case scenario, you get some traffic. I've got a little bit more detail in the blog post about how to do them and how to structure them. Marketing material, so at least leave a listing sheet and some sort of brochure at the property, especially if you've got new construction or rehab. You want to itemize everything that has been done, itemize the selling features, because if you do have somebody that's walking through the property, they're going to take that and they're going to hold on to that. It's going to be easier for them to make a decision. It's going to be easier for them to compare properties, and it's going to make your property stand out. So, is the brochure, the listing sheet at the property going to sell the home? Maybe not, but it is a nice touch. And for the rehabs or the new construction, organizing all the manuals and the warranties on everything so that you can show that to the buyers that, listen, we have a binder that has everything. And again, showing that everything is brand new in the property is important for the buyer when they're trying to make their decision between A and B property. Remember that the buyers aren't builders, so they may not know everything about the home, nor have they lived maybe in that area. They could be coming from out of town. So explaining that you're close to schools and you're close to shopping and you're on a dead end street, those are all great selling features for the buyer. We use an automated showing service, which I like for two reasons. One, if you have an occupied property or if you even have a vacant property, it organizes everything. It sends automated feedback to all the buyer's agents, and it stores everything so that you can send your client, your seller, a report on, here are all the showings that took place, literally the time, the date, and then here was the feedback. If you get feedback directly from the agent, you can always edit it in there, and again, it will still send them. For showings, a lot of times sellers are occupying their property, and so you can set it up to where the system calls, the system texts, the system emails, so it makes it very easy. Remember, we're trying to eliminate and create or eliminate any headaches for our sellers. And last but not least, agent communication and an understanding of the home that they are selling. We see it all the time with these REO agents who just don't answer the phone, or sometimes don't even reply to an email. I think it's very important for, time is of the essence of everything in today's age, right? People want answers. People want answers now. The way Tim and I operate, we're on every single listing. We advise, or we should say, we direct any agents if they have any questions to either call or email us. We can get back very quickly. But just understanding the home that they are selling, right? You have to know, if the buyer asks you, hey, is this home FHA approved? You've got to be able to answer that. Now, yes, may the appraiser, the FHA appraiser, find something? Yes, but you've got to be able to quickly answer questions because time is money. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me. More importantly, tell me what you guys want to know about real estate. I'd love to create a video for you and a mini blog post. I will see you next time.